The Everlight Solar Studio.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
On 100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Tausch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It is the Wednesday edition. I'm in a good mood today. Jesse, you're not going to be able to bring me down with your negativity. Your gosh darn negativity.
I got no negativity today. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's a Wedding Crashers reference.
Oh, yeah.
When Owen Wilson has that big plan of posing as waiters to go to the ball or whatever that is edition. I'm in a good mood because there's no practice today. Still a jam-packed schedule, but it'll be nice not to be at practice for a day. We do have all three coordinators talking, though. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to depart the show for a little bit, leave it in the capable hands of Jesse, our cousin sub of the day, and Homer. So what could possibly go wrong? Edition. We've got a deep bench. How lucky are we, Jesse? We got this big-time, great storyteller, stream of consciousness, star of the show, but when he's not here, which is somewhat frequently, we've got such great cousin subs. And this one is doing his second tour of duty during the Tausch Summer Sabbatical edition. And we got to talk Matthew Golden. We got to talk about running laps. An interesting day yesterday at Packers Training Camp edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free, all customizable. So you can put Wilde and Tausch, just drag them right there, right in the first spot on the ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find both in the Android and Apple app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson's in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And he is the epitome of Florida man. And we are so lucky to have him. I don't think he's at the farm today. I think he's in his normal spot. He is the future Packers Hall of Famer. How soon can we get that done, you think? Another year or two still? You haven't been retired that long.
It's a good question. Out of my hands. It's out of my hands.
I'm not on the committee. I'm not on the committee, but I'm on the case. I'll look into it for you. It is the great Bryan Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch. Blue, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm
good.
I'm great. There's no practice today. I know what you guys kind of feel like as players when you get to that. Now, They had Saturday off after 3 of the non-padded practices. Then I screwed it up because I was wrong. I thought, okay, 3 non-padded practices, day off, pads. Then a 4th no pads practice on Sunday. Monday was the first padded practice, and then we had another one yesterday. But when you would get to the first real true day off after pads, you were looking forward to that day. Was that a good day?
That was a great day. It was a fantastic day because, normally what would happen was, there was a nice little establishment right by St. Norbert's dorms. It was called the Abbey. Just a nice little Nice little
Named
local.
after your wife, from what I understand.
Named after my wife. Just a nice little local establishment that we knew after the first few padded days. We knew we had the day off. The guys, we'd meet up there and, maybe have a few soda pops. Just soda, only soda. That's
Shirley
it.
Temple.
Yeah, and just would unwind a little bit and hang out because we knew we had the next day off. Obviously, we had to probably go in and do something, right? The day off is so, quotation marks day off.
Right.
Probably had to go do something. But there were no practices. So we always try to make the most out of that evening before, the day off. But those are the times at camp that you kind of miss, right? The night off or the night before the day off and things like that. You don't miss the practice. You miss those times with the guys. But I certainly remember the first days of pads. I remember those intense times and kind of sounds like that's the way camp's been going. Sounds like that's the way things have been ramping up here at old Ray Nitschke Field as of late.
All right. So I want to get into take a lap. But first, I want to get into the physicality, and because I'll say this, and you we've talked about this before. My social media usage has been way down for a while. It's just not my cup of tea anymore. And so I have not really been doing a whole lot of engaging. But I do see like how people debate things and respond to certain stories that I post. And I think it's been interesting, Bryan, to see the reaction to the Nate Hobbs stuff from the last couple days. Not even the Rasheed Walker thing yesterday, which we're going to get into coming up, so be sure to stick around for that. But, Nate Hobbs in the non-padded practices, I mean, he went through Dontavion Wicks on a play. And again, I understand there's fans who are like, hey, this is what we need. We need a guy who's physical and attacking and aggressive. And you know what? Packers fans, the general manager agrees. Like yesterday, he said, hey, we're trying to be a specific type of football team here, and that requires physicality. The issue is that that's great if you do that to Amon-Ra St. Brown on the afternoon of September 7th inside Lambeau Field. If you do it in a non-padded practice to Dontavion Wicks, not as good. And then with the Marshawn Lloyd story, which, both Matt LaFleur and Goody said yesterday that watching the injury, and it's apparently a groin injury, watching the injury, he puts his foot in the ground to cut. It looks like he feels something. He doesn't put that foot down again, and then he gets walloped by Nate Hobbs. So in their opinion, which is not 100% accurate, they can't know this for sure, but the injury to Marshawn Lloyd, who has some of the worst luck in the history of pro football, was not caused by Nate Hobbs. Nevertheless, what Nate Hobbs did was still not what you're supposed to be doing in pads. You're not supposed to go low and you're not supposed to tackle. So, Blue, from your perspective, because it's interesting the way Matt LaFleur has taken some criticism from some precincts of fans that, hey, what are you trying to get him to be less aggressive for? So, you being a former player, explain it to them so they understand the fine line we're talking about.
Yeah, so I see a couple different sides of this, right? And I'm on the player side of it, and I'm obviously on your side of it, and I'm on LaFleur's side. I see every single angle of this because I've been on the side of the player side of it of trying to set a tone and be physical. But I'm also on the other player side of it, right, where I am the offensive side of the ball, and our receivers are exposed and our running backs are exposed, and the defensive guys can take shots, right? They can do that, and they can freely do that. And our guys are put in practice in obviously compromised positions at times, right? Those things happen, and you expect our own guys to, act accordingly, right? You just expect them to not do those things. And I get things happen in the heat of the moment and things are bang, bang. And that's why I said on on Monday when I was with Strophe, when he was subbing in for Homer, that like I want to give Hobbs like obviously the benefit of the doubt on things, right? Like I don't want to like sit here and label him a bad teammate. Like that's
Right.
not where I'm. But for the people that want to like jump on LaFleur and say, why are you trying to make him this way or that way? He's trying to protect the guys on the team. Like that's what, like you don't go into training camp looking to get your own guys banged up. Like that's not the point of training camp, is to see if you can, get guys hurt in training camp and see if your receivers can take punishment or see if your running backs can figure out ways to evade low hits in camp. Like that's not what you're there for, right? Like that's not part of the thing. And at this point in camp, as obviously you've been through a lot of these, running backs and receivers aren't really prepping for those things yet, right? Like this is like putting pads on and the first days of shells or helmet, whatever you call them now. That's not really a thing on their mind, right? They're looking for like up high thud or helmet to helmet contact. Like those are things that they're prepared for. They're not ready for like low hits. Like that's certainly not what they're looking for. And it's just a matter of trying to like look out for the guys on the team. That's what LaFleur's doing. Like he wants to obviously have a physical football team. Like that's obviously a key thing. You have to walk that line of having a physical team, but you can't let it cross a line where you're putting your own guys in compromised positions and guys are taking shots, right? Like, because if you let it continue on, right? Like if you let that continue to go on in camp, it's going to happen to someone and it's going to get to a point where it could cause, I don't want to say a catastrophic injury, right? Like to a big time player, but it could knock a guy out for multiple weeks as we get closer to Detroit, right? And then someone's missing the Detroit game over something that's completely avoidable, which you're trying to avoid at all costs, right? Like as you get closer, you want guys to be as fresh and healthy as possible. Now, I get it's camp. You can't, prevent that 100%. This is football. It's physical. It's all that. But guys just have to control themselves at times, right? Like, and that's really what it is. And it's an easy way to, try to prevent fights because that's the easiest way that fights break out. Like if you take a shot on a receiver, if you take a shot on a running back, if you take a shot on a tight end, linemen are going to go fight immediately. Because if you don't, we're hearing about it in our own line room. Like I'm just saying that right now. If you see it on tape,
right?
One of our guys gets a shot taken on him and we don't go react, we're getting chewed out in the meeting room, and there could be something way less that happens the next day, and we're going to have to go react the next day, and then it's going to blow up out of proportion. So there's just no need for it to escalate over time, and LaFleur's trying to get to that point where there can be good, clean practices that are very competitive, that are physical, but they don't get interrupted by things like this. And that's really where he's trying to go with this. Like being tough and being a hard-nosed team and being just doing out of character things are two different things, right? Like fighting and taking certain types of shots on guys doesn't really show toughness. I know people may think that may show those things, but it doesn't. Like some of the most physical teams that I were on, there were no camp fights. Guys knew how to practice. Guys knew the tempo of practices. One of the most professional guys that I ever went against was Julius Peppers. I can honestly say in my times going against Julius, I never got in a camp scuffle with Julius Peppers at all. Never. I mean, never did I want to, for the love of God. But just in general, right? He knew how to practice, right? He was never going to do something that was way out of line. I was never going to do that to a guy like that. You just understood. You go hard in practice, and when it's time to draw that line, you stop and you go back to your huddle and you repeat. You just have to know when. And Julius was never going to take a cheap shot or do something crazy on a back or a receiver or a tight end. There's just a certain way you practice. And LaFleur's just trying to set that standard early, right? This is the time to do it. You set it early because there's a lot of practice left, not just in camp, but in the season, right? Like this is just the first week of camp, not even the regular season. So, I just look at this as let's get guys to practice the right way. I'm not saying anything about Hobbs. I love that he's physical, right? Like that sets a tone in the back end for opposing teams that those guys have to look out for, right? Like between him and McKinney, those guys like to come up and hit. Like I love that. You want to have those guys back there that make receivers and tight ends think twice about going over the middle and things like that. That's all great stuff. Like, and I really like that. Like, I like that about Hobbs. Like, I can appreciate that. It's just you don't need to do it on your own guys, right? Like, you just don't need to do it on your own guys. And the running back position in particular, with Lloyd being hurt, and I saw the quotes. Whether he did it before the hit, whether it happened after the hit, it doesn't matter to me. Like it's irrelevant in my point of view. We need healthy backs. Jacobs is eventually going to need like a game where he doesn't touch the ball 30 times or 28 times. Like we're going to need a back that can come in and take 8 to 10 carries off of him from time to time. Like that just has to happen. And we need quality depth there. And we want Lloyd to be healthy. Like, I think he could be a talented guy in this league, but, like, his injury luck is just, like, it's unfortunate. So, like, to see guys get hurt this early in camp, it's a bummer. And regardless if it was the hit or not, I don't care. We just don't need to put guys in that position. And that's really all I'm trying to get at. And that's – it has nothing to like. It could be Hobbs, it could be whoever. It doesn't matter. I just don't like to see those types of things at this point right now against our own guys.
So Jesse's got what Goody said yesterday, and I want you to hear this because, again, it's not that I don't understand the fans' perspective because the general manager agrees with you. Like I've been a little surprised by because this is, and maybe I shouldn't be. But there's nuance to this. And I live in a world of nuance in a world that is not particularly nuanced these days, right? You're either right or you're wrong. You're either brilliant or you're a blanket idiot, right? So, and so I, like you, I see both sides, but I couldn't agree more with the idea that if these guys are going to get to where they want to go, they got to be more, for lack of a better term, badass. Because you know what the Detroit Lions are? You know what the San Francisco 49ers are? They're badasses. The Baltimore Ravens, right? Like there is a brand for those teams. That is not the Packers brand. And so here's what Goody said yesterday when he was asked, because and I wasn't in there because I was doing the show with Joe Thomas, but the way it was transcribed was that Ted wouldn't have liked seeing Hobbs light up Wicks and Lloyd because Ted, he wanted guys to be in bubble wrap all summer so they could get to the season. Goody, a little bit different. Here's what he said.
Good. I think, the intensity was really good. I think it was hot, as you guys know, it was hot out there, and I think sometimes that can drain you, so we'll see how they come back today. Whenever you get into pads, particularly in today's world of football where it's so different because you have so many more limited opportunities to be in pads. There's always a sloppiness to it to a certain degree, like you're just kind of trying to get through it. But I thought yesterday was a little bit better than most first days, So, but I think we need that. We need more of that, and it'll be good for us to get out there today and over the next couple of weeks to be in pads as much as we can. Because if we're going to be the kind of football team I think we can be, we need that.
So it was something else that he said, and I'm going to read that to you so you hear this, Brian, because this is what I thought was really interesting. You're trying to balance a lot of things as you're going through camp. We're trying to become a certain kind of football team that can win and win deep into the playoffs. There's a certain kind of physicality that you have to have, and Nate Hobbs brings all that. That's why we brought him here. It's very important that all our guys have the kind of edge to them. We want to keep guys off the ground, and you want to make good decisions while you're going through camp and keep guys healthy. But at the same time, it's hard. We're asking these guys to fly around, be physical, and make plays. To back off sometimes is not easy. but we want them to all be good teammates and keep each other healthy. But at the same time, that's like 7 buts in here. But at the same time, I'd rather be pulling the reins and making sure we've got enough guys in that room that have that kind of edge. That's the balance. I think he put that perfectly, Bryan, because you are trying to serve two different ends here. One is keep guys healthy, and the other one is be the badasses that you want them to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and what that comes down to is like that the general manager, the head coach, I mean, they can talk to these guys all they want. They can say what they want. It's the policing of the players that have to do that within each other, right? Like that doesn't get done. Like Goody can say that, and like and he wants that line walked tightly. And I know Matt, obviously, he's come out and said he's had the conversation. Hobbs has said he's had the conversation. He obviously got after guys, which I'm sure we're going to get into after the practice the other day. Like they could all do that, and that's fine. But that's a thing that gets policed within the locker room, right? And gets done within the guys on the practice field. Like that's the only way that takes care of itself is with guys on the field understanding how to practice. That's the only way it gets done, because if guys don't understand how to practice and they don't understand boundaries and things like that, then you're going to get guys on the ground and you're going to get those things. And then it becomes blurry of what is trying to be physical and then what's sloppy and what's like, and that's not good. Like, that's not what you want. Like, the guys have to police that. Like, and that's really what it comes down to. And again, I'm not like sitting here banging the drum for any type of veteran team. But when you have guys that have been doing it for a while, that have been through a lot of training camps, that have been on certain types of teams, that have all types of levels of experience, and you've got guys in certain positions that have certain levels of experience, they understand how it's supposed to look and the tempo of things and what's crossing the line and what's not crossing the line and things like that. And that's kind of, where I think Goody and Matt are trying to put onus on players, right, to try to find those guys that police the things out there and make this thing look the way they want it to. But at the same time, it still is a relatively young team at the end of the day, right? Like, yes, they've played a lot of football, you could say, so to speak, but from a experience standpoint of camps and things like that, and playoffs and where you want the team to be, like, they are a relatively young squad. So, like, you got to have guys in certain areas around the team that have to be able to, like, pull guys inside and be like, hey, I love that you want to fly around and be physical, but, like, you can't do this. Or, like, you would pull guys aside and say, listen, you can try to finish a guy in camp, but there's absolutely no need to try to drive him an extra 5 yards once the whistle is blown, because that's just going to what's that going to do? That's going to blow up into a fight, and you're only going to get so much support from guys if you continue to do it. Guys are only going to have your back for so long after we've asked you not to do that so many times. And, like, it's just a matter of guys trying to set the tone for the rest of the team. And it starts with the older guys, right, the veteran guys of the team, to set examples for the rest of the team to kind of follow, right? And it's early, right? It's the first few days, and things kind of need to settle themselves out. And like I've always said, the first few days of camp, it's always a little uncharacteristic. It always is. Like, things always get a little testy, a little out of hand in the first few days, and guys do things that they normally wouldn't do in a practice, and you have to prepare for that. You just have to hope that things kind of level themselves out as camp goes on, and that's really all you can hope for. And as that happens, you just hope no injuries that come from that type of overly aggressive type nature happen. Like, and you may think it sounds soft. It's not. Like, I'm not saying you go out there and two-hand touch people. Like, I'm talking about, like, what we just talked about, not going low on players, not taking shots on receivers that are exposed or tight ends that are exposed that aren't looking and things like that. Like, there's ways to go about being physical without, ripping the ribs out of receivers and doing things like that during a camp practice. Like, there's just ways to do it. And protecting your guys, but still showing that edge that you need to build going into a season. And they just have to find that, right? Like, they just have to find that way to practice as camp moves on. And that's really the best way I can put it. And it's easier said than done, right? Mm-hmm. It's easier said than done. I had to learn how to do it. I learned it. Obviously, I had great guys to learn from. You learn from guys that you watch practice and how they do things and what causes reactions, right? Like, what is not okay and what is okay. And you see how things go. And it's not just from an offensive side of the ball. Like, you see the way defensive guys react when something's not okay when offensive guys do it. So you understand the give and take during camp to make sure practice, flows the way it should. Everyone's getting their work in, and it's what the coaches, need and want out of the team at the end of the day. And guys are getting their work too. So it's a delicate line to balance and kind of tiptoe around, but you got to figure it out, man. Like, that's part of this gig. You just can't go in there and just start ripping each other's heads off. Like, that's not, you can't do it. It's not the way it goes. Like, join practice, go at it, have fun. You got another team, go at it, enjoy yourself, right? Like, make the coaches make them physically, like, get in there with the two coaches and set us, like, hey, we're not doing this, we're not doing, like, make them do that. For your own guys, there should already be a certain standard of what's what. Right, like, there shouldn't have to be that conversation almost after every practice. Like, it's just not. It shouldn't be that way.
All right, we need to hear from Tausch on Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and then I want to get into what happened in one of these physicality type moments, and after the play situation between JJ Enagbare and Rasheed Walker, which was interesting on multiple levels, and I want to get Brian's thoughts on that coming up. We will do that after we hear from Tausch about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin with Bryan Bulaga, our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. It's Wilde and Tausch.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center lets you see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of windows and door options from 7 different Pella lines, all side by side. Stop by soon, because if you order by July 31st, you can get 0 interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions do apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road or visit PellaWI.com today.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit MapleHillGolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
The ESPN Madison Open, presented by Coors Light, is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison, dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. ESPN Madison Open also brought to you by Badgerland Exteriors, Annex Wealth Management, Sunday Paper, Incredible Bank, Borikov Osman LLC, and Retirement Income Strategies.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app, customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
All right, we'll get to Rasheed Walker having to take a lap, but not by himself, which is, me being a soft and loving connectivity and team chemistry and thinking that's really important. Thought it was a really neat moment. We'll get to that coming up, but let's get to a quick text message on the Carbless Talkin' text line. This is more. Jesse, what do you got?
This is from Grant in Madison. Is this, the physicality, becoming an issue at practice because of the lack of veteran leadership with all the young guys?
So that's an interesting question, Brian. I'm going to let you take it because you're the one who's played in the league. I did hear something yesterday that I did think was a little bit too far off for being careful. And that was Tucker Kraft told us that he's not allowed to stiff arm guys in practice. I don't remember that being the case previously. Now, again, I don't know if I don't have any reason to think Tucker's not telling the truth. But stiff arm feels like something that you kind of have to use sometimes. So I was a little surprised when he said that. But is this a hey, if you've got, Bryan Bulaga and David Bakhtiari and Aaron Rodgers and Julius Peppers, is this more self-policed to the phrase you used earlier than maybe it has been? I think Grant brings up an interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, he does. I mean, he kind of makes the point a little bit within the question, because I think that that helps when it gets into these certain situations in camp. Like when there is a somewhat of a scuffle or something does happen, right? And that does happen. Normally, what happens after that is veteran guys from both sides normally end up stepping in and having a conversation with the guys in his own unit, right? Offense or defense, and kind of being like, all right, like that's like we can't, like that's the end of that. Like we actually need to get to work here. So like that's not, we can't be doing that. And they kind of set lines and boundaries, and the practice goes on, right? Like, and it's not that anyone's advocating for not being physical. Like again, I continue to say there's a difference between physical and like a difference between like kind of being out of control and doing things that are uncharacteristic, right? There's a difference between those of like what's tough and what's this and that. Like you can be what you want as a football team and be hard-nosed and tough and build those traits by not doing things that put guys in compromised positions. And like that's really what we're getting at. And when guys know how to practice and guys understand when in certain situations what's needed, right? Like and what the tempo should be and when guys should, not like essentially when guys should not be trying to rip dudes' ribs out, essentially, or going like there's times and places for that, and it's not, with your own teammates, like it just isn't, and like it's a perfect example of like if you were to do that, like say on offense, if a tight end was coming in to try to crack block one of our defensive ends, like if it was Clay or even Julius and that, like we would never do that. Like that play would never be called in a practice because you don't want to put one of our DNs in that position where he gets hit potentially blindside in the side of the head. Like it's just putting guys in certain positions, or like say we do a pulling play and a tackle gets out on the edge and the running back cuts back and there's one of our, say it was Jair, or say it was, or it could be even now, like say it was McKinney, and McKinney was cutting back and he didn't see Zach Tom, coming one way and his head was turning. Zach Tom was about to ear hole him, and Zach Tom should not take that shot. Like you do not take that shot on your guy.
And no
like
one's and in fairness, no one has done that, right? It hasn't gotten to that point, and so that's a good thing. But
but I'm just saying, like those are the things that like you just don't do. But like if you allow things to continue to ramp up and escalate, and that's what LaFleur's trying to like put out right now. Like he's trying to put those fires out right now, and that's what I'm getting at is like that's the difference of him. He's not being soft, or he's not trying to make guys less tough. He's trying to make sure those things don't happen later on in camp. That's all that is. And again, once you get into these joint sessions and you get into preseason, go at it, man. Have fun. Like you're going against another opponent. You're trying to be as physical and nasty and tough as humanly possible. Go at it. Enjoy yourself, right? Like be who you want to be. But it's not against your guys. You got to protect your guys. And that's literally what this is, right? Like it's all we're saying. And I guess if people that listen or have an issue with LaFleur's doing, or like really don't like what I would be saying, or either what people that have played that may be echoing the same thing, like you would have a problem with it if one of your best players goes down for a long time because something stupid like that happened. Then you would be saying like, why isn't LaFleur policing that? Why isn't he like that should have been taken care of? And after that happened, like that's all we're saying. Like, and you just don't want to see something like that happen in camp when it could have been avoided early on. And that's all LaFleur's trying to do.
All right. I want to get to, this has been great, Bryan, because it means a lot more coming from you than it means coming from me. And look, I'm soft. I'm from the Ted Thompson school. Ted Thompson was a badass football player, by the way. Played linebacker in the NFL in the 70s. So, and I found myself wondering many a time whether playing in that era factored into the health challenges he faced later in life. But he did not want his players to be subjected to what he was. So his mentality for the preseason and practice was different. But so I want all these guys to stay healthy and be ready for September 7th. But they've got, I think Goody's right. I think Philadelphia was another team that exposed their need to be more physical. So I think it's a really fine line, and I think you did a phenomenal job of explaining it. Now, I want to get to something a little softer that I really liked, and that is the connectivity of this team and something that happened yesterday because of a physical situation. We will get to that and get Brian's thoughts on that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago Cubs.
Breaking ball, hit high, hit deep, left center, bye-bye baseball!
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
You have got to be kidding me!
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Feel the thrill, chase the excitement, and win big. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the Executive Director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Bryan Bulaga here for Surfside. Summer is heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Ever thought about hitting a golf ball in Camp Randall Stadium? Well, now is your chance. On August 1st and 2nd, you can enjoy a VIP experience while hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium down to custom greens on the field below. Start and end your round with great music, cold beers, food, and numerous golf challenges. Event is open to all ages, but hurry because tee times will go fast. Go to upperdeckgolf.com to book a tee time today. That's upperdeckgolf.com.
Siding Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in Pella window installation. In fact, we are Wisconsin's only Pella Platinum Premier Certified Contractor, and we've won Pella's prestigious National Contractor of the Year award 5 times. It's easy to get started. The process starts with homeowners meeting us at Siding Unlimited's amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Bryan Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Surfside. Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade and vodka. It's light, refreshing, and has 0 bubbles. It's perfect for a day on the golf course or a day at American Family Field. Cheers to Surfside.
Ready to roll, ready or not, ready to give it all I got. Gotta live to win, get up, get even. Ready to roll, ready.
All right, so toward the end of practice yesterday, 11-on-11 period, Rasheed Walker is blocking J.J. Enagbare. And it goes a little past the whistle, and they get into it a little bit. And then Enagbare starts to disengage, and Sheed put him in the ground. I mean, it was more physical than it should have been. And LaFleur was more pissed about that than he was about the Hobbs thing because it was after the play, right? That's when coaches really get irritated. And so he delivers an expletive or two and tells him he's got to run a lap. Now,
I heard there were more than 2 expletives from the old ball coach yesterday.
Yeah, then there were some more in the huddle afterward when he got after them further about taking care of each other. But something, I don't want to call it magical, that's an overstatement, but pretty damn cool happened after that. And Rasheed Walker, and this was great because we talked to him yesterday, he pretended that he did not remember what exactly he did to get himself kicked out of practice, which I thought was humorous. But as Matt LaFleur is getting after him, and he says, take a lap, Rasheed's like, what? Because that is not what NFL coaches generally do, right? I mean, that is abnormal. Fair?
Yeah. Normally no. That's not normally the thing that happens. Normally not a lap.
Have you ever seen it in 30 years?
I have. Mike Sherman used to do it all the time. Tausch will tell you when he gets back from his summer sabbatical that I think he even did it for like penalties. Like if you got like a false start, you had to run to the fence and back while someone else took your spot in the line.
Yeah, when we would have a stint during camp when the O-line was jumping off sides a lot, Campy would make us do a sprint to the opposite end of the field and back. But it wasn't like a lap around the field. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a full blown lap around. Like he would make us go down like down and back.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like a lap of shame, so to speak.
A lap of shame. That's such a great line. So here's the thing. So here's what happens. So Sheed is like confused for a moment. Like he doesn't start running right away. And Josh Jacobs grabs him and he's like, let's go. And Josh Jacobs and Tucker Kraft and Jordan Morgan and Elton Jenkins and Zach Tom and Sean Ryan, all guys that were on the field at the time of this thing, go and run with him. Now, you have to understand something from my perspective. Maybe other people didn't feel this way, but my favorite show is Ted Lasso, which will not come as a surprise to people. Like, I am wired like this guy right here. This is me, okay? I obviously do not coach at the NFL level, but all the coaching I do, I think it's so important. Connectivity and caring about each other. I do believe that matters. Not as much as other things may matter, but I do believe that matters. And this moment was such a cool thing. And talking to the guys afterward was such a cool thing. And what my favorite part of this, and I used it as my lead of my story on channel3000.com, was when I asked Josh Jacobs and Zach Tom why they did it, they both looked at me like, well, that's a stupid question. Why wouldn't I do it? Right? Jacob said that we're all in this together, like the line from High School Musical.
Oh, stop it.
I know. He did. He said it. That's what he said. Sean Ryan said, one of us runs, we all run. And Zach Tom said the same thing. Like, we didn't want him to be out there running alone. And so, Bryan, you're the one who played in the league for over a decade. I'm the one who's soft as Charmin. Tell me if I'm wrong to think that this was an important moment and a really cool moment for a bunch of guys showing how much they care about each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I think it's a good sign of solidarity between the group, and regardless if you think that whether Sheed was in the wrong or not, right? I mean, like that's regardless of that, right? Like, and probably was stupid to bury your own guy after the whistle. Like, again, like just
no doubt.
What's the point of that? Like, come on, like it's just again. I probably would have. I mean, I know that he's legitimately in a position battle, right? Like he's literally in a job fight. So like for him and his mentality, like every little thing is like matters to him. So like I'm not giving him like a pass of doing like, you know, something that you shouldn't do, but like he's in a very like obviously high like intensity, he's in a different state than a lot of guys that just got paid a lot of money. Like it's he's in a different, situation. But regardless of that, I think it's a good sign of like solidarity that guys have his back. And like, regardless of people saw what happened or what took place, right? If Jacob saw it, obviously if Sean Ryan and Tom and those guys were on the field with him, they probably did not see what took place anyway. They may, at the end of the day, thought could have been in the wrong, right? Like maybe that didn't matter at the time.
Josh Jacobs, Bryan, Josh Jacobs flat out said he was wrong. He shouldn't have done that. Like, yeah, and that's the guy who corralled them to all run together. He said very clearly that what she did was wrong.
Yeah, so like that's the perfect example of like they understood that like it was wrong, but they still supported him from a and it's a point of like kind of what like Zach Tom said, like didn't want him to run alone, because like that is kind of like a thing where you're just making a guy run around the field alone. It's
the
a
shame
little
line.
like,
you nailed it with the shame line. It's the run of shame.
Yeah, it's like a lap of shame. So like you're like the guys being there and running with him is a little more, supportive and trying to, have his back. Because I mean, again, you may say I'm looking way too far into this, but like at the end of the day, right, when this thing actually kicks off for real, right, and they get going against Detroit, that's all they're going to have is each other out there when they start going, right? They can only rely on each other. They have to trust each other. They have to count on each other. They have to want to play for one another, right? And the only way to do that is to build camaraderie, trust, friendship, things like that. Like I could only say it like the groups that I played with, the guys up front, like the backs, like those were like guys that I thought like that I cared for a lot, right? Like that I would do a lot for. Like we were friends outside the building, in the building. So there was no doubt when I go out there, play hurt, play through a lot of things on the field, do things on the field that I was asked to do that weren't easy. But like, hey, if a guy next to me, like if it was TJ or Josh or whoever they needed, like maybe they were going through something and it made my job a little bit tougher. It doesn't matter. Like he needs a little help. And they would do the same for me, no matter what, right? Like you just do things for guys that you care for. So like that shows kind of that type of bond building with this offense, right? And that to me, that's good. That's really good. And you like to see it. Like to me, like that's a good sign. You want that type of chemistry building, especially with your offensive line and running back. Like you want that because that's going to be an important and Kraft was there too. So 7 guys, right? Like Kraft's going to be blocking a lot. Jacobs is going to be running a lot and the line's going to be run blocking for him a lot. So those 7 are going to be working quite a bit. So it's good that those guys all have each other's back because that's all that's going to be out there when this thing gets going for real against Detroit.
Yeah, I thought it was great, and I think as Zach Tom said, I think it meant a lot to Rashid, and I think he's right. Like I think for a guy who is in the heat of a competition and then gets screamed at by the head coach and sworn at by the head coach, for those guys to be there to run with him, I think that's what it's all about. Yes, it's about winning, it's about all that stuff, but winning is part of doing stuff with people that you care about. And they showed something that I thought was really important yesterday. All right, speaking of important, the coordinators are talking today. I am going to turn the reins over to Jesse and Blue and Homer. And I don't want to be late because Bisaccia is going to get after me if I'm late. So I'm going to head downstairs.
Turn those phones off, too, when you're in there.
Yeah, hopefully there's no major emergencies that break across our iPhones during our sessions with Bisaccia, Steno, and Jeff Halfley. Before I go, though, I want to remind you about Lakeland Supply. They are a great new partner of ours. Vince and his team are awesome. It was great to spend a little bit of time with him at the ESPN Milwaukee Open, and we're really happy to have them as part of Wilde and Tausch because they've got core values like we do, and they're an important piece to any successful business, and Lakeland Supply is no different. They've been displaying their core values in the industrial supply space for over 40 years. Integrity, excellence, stewardship, partnership, and faith. They're ISO certified, a Future 50 winner, top rated in customer satisfaction, and they believe in giving back to the community. Lakeland isn't one of those catalog companies either. They work to be your packaging and supply expert, building plans around what you want. Lakeland Supply is in business to make your business better. So set up a free packaging and supply chain assessment at lakelandsupply.com. We'll see what the Packers coordinators have to say. I will return when they're done. More Wilde and Tausch with Bryan Bulaga as our cousin sub of the day, and I suppose Jesse Nelson subbing for me temporarily. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago Cubs.
Breaking ball, hit high, hit deep, left center, bye-bye baseball!
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
You have got to be kidding me!
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. A standout message. Wisconsin football getting a blast from the past with J.J. Watt visiting practice. The Badger legend speaking to the locker room during his visit, hyping up this year's squad. Linebacker Daryl Peterson taking the message to heart, motivated to uphold Wisconsin's legacy.
When you think of this place, you think physicality, running the ball, stopping the run. Like that's one of the big things he told us. I think that was one of the things that stuck to me. Like he was like, we were playing guys like we might have lost, but they knew they played us afterwards. That was one of the things that stuck with me, and that's my challenge to our defense now. Let's get these guys leaving out here in body bag.
Wisconsin taking off for Platteville for the first 2 weeks of fall camp.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
We shopped at Chalmers because my husband wanted to get me a larger diamond in my engagement ring.
The folks at Chalmers said, well, we could just make it like this and we could do these things. Really just basically decided that there wasn't any place else we wanted to shop.
And not only did they create this new engagement ring for me with this gorgeous center stone, they also rehabbed this other ring, and I am beyond pleased.
Her favorite thing to do now is to walk around and show her hands and have people comment on it.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 5th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Atlanta Braves.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in August 5th at 6:15 on WISC TV in Madison, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
Wilde and Tausch back with you, but it's Jesse and Bulaga. And it's going to be that way for a couple of segments here. Jason Wilde at Lambeau Field attending the press conferences for the Packers assistant coaches. Rich Bisaccia is up first with the special teams. Adam Stenovich, the offensive coordinator, is up second. Jeff Hafley rounds it out, and then Jason will return a little bit later in the 10 o'clock hour here of Wilde and Tausch. Blue, what are you most interested in hearing from any of these assistant coaches today?
I mean, I think offensively, just looking forward to seeing what Steno has to say about, obviously, the progression of the offense compared to kind of what we saw late last year. And kind of, I know it's early days right now in camp, and it's hard to get a real vibe on how this offense is forming and shaping up and what's going to be the staple of this offense. But just kind of like what, how it's starting to form and shape, right? Like what do we think tendency-wise is going to be strengths of this offense? Are we going to be very balanced? Are we going to be more run-dominant again, right? Or are things going to change as what defenses tend to give us? Or are we just going to be more hard-nosed back? We're going to run the football no matter what. What is going to be the identity of this team going forward? And I know we got Jordan Love, and I think Jordan Love's going to have a big year, but are we going to force teams into loading the box and making them show their hand to stop the run before we let Jordan Love just start ripping teams apart? Or is it going to be kind of the opposite? Are we going to let Jordan Love air it out to spread defenses apart and then just rip them apart up the middle with Jacobs? So, I'm very interested to see what Steno has to say, and then obviously the competitions that are within camp with the receivers and obviously the offensive line, even though it's very interesting left tackle competition when Jordan Morgan's moving around the offensive line in positions. Defensively, I don't know how much of a cornerback battle is happening, right? I don't know. I get it's obviously Hobbs and Nixon, and those are the main guys, so to speak. But there's a lot of talented guys back there, and if you're playing, nickel defense, what's the rotation? Who are going to be who are the starting safeties, right? Who's the nickel? There's a lot of guys that can play and play at a high level back there, and what's going to be kind of your starting group back there. Like, I'm very interested in that, and who are going to be the guys that you rely on, to go out there to start games and must-have situations and things like that, because there's a lot of talented guys that I think that played a lot last year too. So that's if everyone's healthy, obviously, too. That's obviously the outlier. So I'm interested in that. And the other thing that probably you can't ask yet because nothing's happened, and
we're 1 week in and 2 padded practices in. So
yeah,
I don't know how many of these answers you're going to get.
Yeah, like the goal obviously always is to rush 4, right? Like that's the goal, to rush 4, get home with 4. We saw last year we struggled with that. This is a new year, but say we start to struggle with that again, and we're forced to bring pressure. Like, I wonder if Hafley's thinking more because of the emergence of Cooper and things like that. Is he thinking more linebacker pressure? Is he thinking more McKinney because McKinney's such a good blitzer from the secondary and how good he is? Or are we going to protect the secondary and leave him back there deep so that we're allowing him to do what he does best and just patrol a third of the field and do what he does? Because it's very interesting when you have a guy like Cooper that's a very talented pass rusher as well. If you're going to bring pressure, that would be the guy to do it, to make it 5-on-5 to add on another guy. If you're only bringing 5, if you bring 6, then it's a different story. But just the variety of pressures, if you can't get home with 4, how will that look? But obviously this is early because we may be great at just rushing 4 and getting home with 4. So that's why that's that's a way too early thought at this point in time.
Well, it's early, but it actually segues well into what we're going to talk about next. Over at ESPN.com, 5 proposed win-win trades in the NFL. I don't know if this is inspired by the MLB trade deadline is tomorrow, or if this is just heading into camp. But 5 proposed win-win trades, and the Packers are involved in 2 of the proposed trades. So we're going to talk about that coming up. I want to hear your thoughts. It's all hypothetical, of course, but it does connect exactly to what you were just asking about that pass rush and some other things. So we're going to talk about that coming up in 2 minutes. Jesse and Bulaga for the time being. Jason at the assistant coach availability in Green Bay. Homer scheduled to appear in the 10 o'clock hour. We'll play trivia. A lot of fun stuff still in store. So don't go anywhere. 2 minutes away from the 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch straight ahead.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street, and online at goodmansjewelers.com.
First pitch. Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Left center. Bye-bye baseball. The legend of Andrew Vaughn keeps growing. A grand slam. You have got to be kidding me.
Lane Grindle with the call last night on the Brewers radio network, as heard right here on 100.5 ESPN. A grand slam for Andrew Vaughn, part of a 6 RBI night, propelling the Brewers to a 6-run victory, 9-3 over the Chicago Cubs. Andrew Vaughn was called up to the Brewers Major League team on July 7th. He has 21 runs driven in since that date. Only Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies has more in all of baseball in that span. Brewers 2 games up on the Cubs. That's a season high for leading the NL Central. They go for a sweep of Craig Counsell's Cubs this afternoon. 1:10 first pitch. Pregame coverage starts just after 12:30 on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Of Wilde and Tausch, temporarily Jesse and Bulaga. Hopefully you're not too disappointed in that. Bulaga's pretty great. I don't know about me. I know how you all feel about me. Homer is scheduled to appear coming up in the next segment. What a twist. Bulaga gets to interview Homer. Doesn't usually happen
exciting.
that way. Yeah, so Homer will be
Very
coming up
exciting.
next. I do want to ask Homer about the Brewers games because that's been really exciting as a Brewers fan. I'll be actually at the game this afternoon going to Brewers-Cubs and hoping to see a series sweep. And morale at an all-time high, I think, for the season right now for the Brewers after the big win last night. But let's keep it with the Packers here for a minute because while Jason is at the assistant coach media availability right now, Rich Bisaccia speaking. Coming up next, Adam Stenovich and then Jeff Hafley. Jason will report back on what he learns from that availability coming up here in a little bit in the 10 o'clock hour. Over at ESPN.com, Blue, we have ESPN NFL writer, I call him analytics nerd, Seth Walder. He has proposed 5 win-win trades before the start of the 2025 NFL season. And I read the title of that article. I'm like, all right, whatever. But then I saw 2 of them involve the Green Bay Packers, and I thought, that's interesting. So I decided to do a little reading, and here's what we find. So the first proposed trade that Seth Walder says is a win-win for both teams that makes so much sense before the 2025 season. Packers boost their pass rush. You were just talking about this and what you want to learn from Jeff Hafley. Packers boost the pass rush by acquiring edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeau from the New York Giants in exchange for a 2026 second-round pick. A second-rounder to the Giants for Kayvon Thibodeau, who, again, was a first-round pick a couple of years ago, but the Giants have an abundance of pass rushers. The Packers, arguably, do not. The Packers are in win-now mode. The Giants are not. And so if you're concerned about Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Inigbare, probably not expecting a ton from Baron Sorrell in year 1 as a day 3 pick, go get a proven edge rusher that could help support that cast this season for a second-round pick next year. What do you say, General Manager Bryan Bulaga Kunst?
I'm not sure because this is his 3rd year.
I believe it's his 3rd season. Yes, I think he was a draft pick 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's his 3rd season. So then after this season,
I'm sorry, he's going into his 4th. Going into his 4th. He's played 3 seasons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
21
so
sacks in 3 seasons.
So 21 sacks in 3 seasons. So they'd have to make a decision this year to pick up an option for the 5th year, essentially, and he was a top 5 pick, if I'm not mistaken. So they would have to make a decision, and giving up a second-round pick, they would definitely be picking up that 5th-year option, knowing the way Green Bay works, because they got to find the value in that. And I think he played better last year than he has, right? It's like he's slowly starting to figure out his footing in this league as a pass rusher.
One of the numbers here, 16% pass rush win rate at edge. It's essentially average for a starter at that position in the league.
Yeah. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure I love that. Right, the overall, I'm just not sure because I think Green Bay does such a good job with their second-round picks that the value is just is just there, right? Because then you're picking up that option. That's a lot of cash. You're giving up the second round pick. I'm not loving it. I'll just put it that way. I'm not sure I'm all in on that.
So you're not considering that a win-win the way Seth Walder projects it over at ESPN.com. Well, then you're probably not going to like the second one because it is related to the first one. So to help mitigate the cost of acquiring Kayvon Thibodeau from the New York Giants, the second trade proposal from ESPN NFL writer Seth Walder says that the Green Bay Packers send wide receiver Dontavian Wicks to the Arizona Cardinals in exchange for a 4th-round pick next year. The Cardinals are looking for a wide receiver. The Packers obviously have a lot of them and probably too many than they'll know what to do with come regular season time. You trade Wicks for essentially a 4th-round pick is basically where you took him. Helps mitigate costs if the Packers were to acquire another player like Kayvon Thibodeau. What say you, Bryan Bulaga?
No, I don't like that either.
I knew you wouldn't. Once you said no to the first one, I'm like, well, then the second one's not going to make any sense.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like that either. I think I'd rather keep the player. You have the player under contract for 2 more years. This year and next year. I would rather keep the player. I mean, that's just my thought on it. Because then you take a look at, because I always like one in and one out, but then you get the 4th-round pick, and then it's what you do with that pick, and you package that to maybe move up or do something like there's a lot that you can look at what you do with that pick, but that's all later in the future and what happens with that. Right now, you have a player that I think can be very useful and I think is a good player. So just keep the player and continue to let him develop and be self-motivated to be the best version of himself in this offense. Like, that to me is like what I would do. And I don't think Wicks is going to go anywhere. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't see him as someone that is on the block currently.
No, I don't think so either. So, again, these were trade proposals from Seth Walder. Win-win for both sides, and Bulaga says 0 for 2 on the proposals that involve the Green Bay Packers. You can check it out, read more over at ESPN.com if you so choose. Seems like Bulaga's generally disinterested in it after dismissing both trades. So, your choice, whether you want to go check out more on that or not. 844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. This is more. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Homer, Stephen the Homer True, host of the Homer Hour, weekdays 5 to 6 on ESPN Wisconsin. He is coming up next in a twist. Usually Homer has Bryan on his show a couple of times a week. Now Bryan, filling in as the cousin sub of the day for Tausch, is going to have Homer on this show. So we'll talk with Homer coming up next. Jason continues his time at Lambeau Field at Packers assistant coach media availability. He'll report back on what he learned coming up in a little bit. Homer is scheduled to appear next on Wilde and Tausch after we hear from Tausch telling us about the ice-cold blue mountains of Coors Light. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Mark Tauscher here for the Blue Mountains of cold, refreshing Coors Light. Whether you're tailgating pregame, enjoying your experience during the game, celebrating a big win after the game, or you just need a moment to chill, crack open a Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process: cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it's actually made to chill. The mountains on Coors Light's cold-activated bottles and cans turn blue when chilled to perfection, which, besides the refreshing taste, is my favorite thing about drinking Coors Light. Refreshingly cold and only 102 calories, Coors Light is made to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's national park of speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. Motul Sports Car Grand Prix featuring IMSA is up next on July 30th through the 1st of August. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango, bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. The team you'll always remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin.
With a reunion you'll never forget.
This place, this school, this city, these teammates, this coach, just everything involved was the most formative part of my life and the most special part of my life.
Relive Made and Believe now with the full show on ESPN Madison on YouTube and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Brought to you by M3 Insurance Company, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzers. Made and Believe. Available now.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road or visit PellaWI.com today.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. You're making love, or starting the schoolyard fight.
Wilde and Tausch continues. Jesse Delson, Bryan Bulaga. Bulaga's in as the cousin sub of the day for Tausch as his summer sabbatical continues. I am helping cover for Jason Wilde for the time being as Jason attends the assistant coach media availability going on at Lambeau Field. Rich Bisaccia wrapping up. Adam Stenovich is up next. Then Jeff Halfley to follow, and then Jason will return and share everything that he learns. And hopefully they all get after him in one way or another. In the meantime, you know what that music means. It is time for us to be joined by Homer, host of the Homer Hour, weekdays 5 to 6 on ESPN Wisconsin. Homer, how you doing?
Good. Nice to be on the Bryan Bulaga Hour with Homer. That's okay. I can handle that.
It's a twist, right? Normally, Brian's joining your show in the afternoon, so now Brian gets to interview you. So, Bryan Bulaga, the floor is yours. What do you want to learn from our friend Homer?
I got so much to learn from Homer. It's only.
That's a lie.
It's not. Only 2 times a week. I can't even absorb all the knowledge. So, this extra time for me is just phenomenal. So, this is like a gift. This is a gift for me.
I didn't know you
So
would
thank
go
you.
Tausch on me like this, but good.
I'm not. I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
Okay.
I love your takes. Because it gives it gives us something to talk about tomorrow.
Your takes are so accurate, but I enjoy your takes. I try to be accurate because I was going to ask you. I don't know. Did you ever follow anything all these coaches said? Did you ever even listen to it to give us some observation as to whether or not it's of any value to us? Because I always envision the players going, "Oh yeah, that's crap. That's." They don't ever tell them the truth, or they do tell them the truth, or maybe it was just never even high enough to give any attention at all. So you don't even know what the coaches are saying because all you care is what they're saying when they talk to you. What's the truth?
Yeah, the truth of it is that you normally pay attention to at times. If you're someone that watches all the pressers, I really wasn't. But if there's normally a quotable thing from the head coach, you normally will pay attention to it because there's a chance that he'll probably repeat something similar back to the team at some point, and it's a message that he wants to get across. And whether he does it through, media and he's going to repeat it back to you guys. So I normally pay attention to that.
They actually do that? They use the media
there's-
to tell things that they don't tell you?
No, they'll repeat it back to us, but it's kind of a precursor to get ready for what's coming in a team meeting.
It might be said first to the public or media before you. Wow.
Well, especially on a day off like this. They got a day off today. They're meeting, they get the coordinators today and things like that. And I don't know if LaFleur speaks today or not.
If I was a coach, I don't know if you would, I would never, ever say anything to the media or the public before I say it to the players. But that's maybe just doesn't understand reality. Right?
I would think if he says it to you and then you hear it at the press conference, that's he's really serious about that one. I wouldn't think you would.
I don't know. It would be, to me as a coach, make it easy for the players because they know they don't have to listen to any of that stuff because they've already heard anything that I say there. I've already told to them, but I'm clearly wrong. So I don't.
Well, a perfect example would be today. I'm sure Steno will get asked about the left tackle competition and his take on that. And obviously, maybe there's no discussion between the guys and Steno about how the left tackle competition's going, and that gets out, right? Guys will see what Steno is saying about that left tackle competition and how that's going, and guys will see that, right? That's just stuff that isn't being talked about between players and coaches, but he's being asked about that in the media, and he's speaking on it, and guys see that. So it's small things like that guys do pick up, that they do see, and as we kind of saw, obviously LaFleur probably said it beforehand about. He was talking, in the team meeting, and then Jason said, prior to camp starting, kind of reiterating a message about, expectations for the team and things like that. He kind of echoed it to the guys in the media. There's times that, you'll speak to the media prior to on a day off prior to the team, and the message gets across one way or another, and then guys will hear that and they'll understand that coach is trying to get a point across. A message is sent loud and clear. And I would imagine there'll be a lot of questions today, which I want to ask you about, Homer. A lot of questions today to the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator about what's being talked about now, about the physicality nature of practice. And I don't even like to say physicality of practice because that's football, right? Football is supposed to be physical. That's the nature of it. But it's crossing the line of physicality in football and protecting teammates, right? Like, and I think that's kind of where we're at in Packers training camp right now, because now the GM's speaking on it, right? The head coach has spoken about it. And now we're probably going to hear the coordinators speak on it, because a lot's going to get asked about both coordinators, because they obviously speak to their guys daily, right? Like they're in these offense, defensive meetings daily. What do you see, I guess, from offense, defense, and training camps? And you've obviously covered these things a lot. Like, there's a line that you just can't cross protecting your own teammates, right? You can't be ripping ribs out of receivers and going low on backs. I mean, there's got to be a line, correct? Or am I just the only one on that based on my experience
This
playing?
is amazing. You're asking me, a former player is asking me, right now, people are thinking, what is wrong with Bulaga? Like, why would he? It would be like Albert Einstein asking Homer. So, what do you think about this? What do you think about this equation? Like, you lived it.
I've made my point. I've already made my point. I want to see if you think I'm crazy.
Well,
on my
I
point.
would tell people, first of all, listen to Bryan Bulaga's point. All right. Second of all, coaches don't change. Coaches are what coaches are. LaFleur likes a certain practice. He likes it done a certain way. What's the guy's name? Hobbs? What's his name?
Nate Hobbs.
Yeah, he's nuts. He's nuts. He's got a serious problem. And my problem is, his problem is, I don't know how you can do what he did. Part of being a player is understanding, and he's like, oh, that's the way I did it or whatever. His behavior is not acceptable, and maybe that's why he was available, and it's possible. You talked about this before. They're never going to tell you the truth. They're going to cover it up if they have to. Now, maybe they don't have to. But this is not about the team. This is about one guy. And also, the whole thing about Rashid forces there is no competition at left tackle. LaFleur would not have addressed this the way he did unless that's his guy. So this discussion of left tackle is done and over with, and I don't care what they say. Their actions tell you this. But other than that, we're just discussing one crazy player and how could he do something so stupid. And he can say it's the way in this, I defer to you. You played with certain people, and maybe they didn't know him, or you get him in, you'd say, look, we don't want any of that knucklehead stuff that you did, or whatever. I don't know that there's any defense for what he did other than that it was just wrong, and that's not reflective of anything else about the team. And then I would emphasize, he's a new guy. So you then now are required as a former player to comment on every crazy comment of Homer and give them any legitimacy, or Homer, that's probably the worst one you've ever come with. Because if you don't, Brian, it's going to affect your reputation, not mine.
Diminishing significantly.
Yes, I mean, listen, and it is kind of it's an odd issue, because even in my time, I don't remember a DB going low on one of our backs. Listen, bang bang plays happen in camp, they happen in games. I understand all that, but I just don't ever remember something like that happening. And
why did it never happen, sir? I ask you, why do you think it never happened? All
first
the
of all,
players were smart enough to know you don't do that.
Yeah,
right?
that was certainly one of them. And you look at the guys that, again, I always go back to the guys that I was fortunate enough to be on teams with when I came in as a rookie, and I got to learn from. You were in. I'll just start because we're talking about defensive backs, like Nick Collins, Charles Woodson, Tremont Williams, Al Harris. These are the guys that were practicing, right? They were the most professional of professional type dudes. They understood physicality, they understood aggression, they understood all those things, but at the same time, they weren't going low on Greg Jennings. They weren't going to go low on.
If I was general manager, depending on if I knew what happened, I'd cut him the next day. He's done. I don't care what draft choice I give him. That guy's not on my team. It would have. I believe this is what I would ask you. It would have been appropriate for a general manager to cut him the next day.
Well, that wasn't going to happen after they just paid him X amount of money as a free agent. It wasn't going to happen.
But there's a point at which you go too far, and how can you trust a player who's capable of doing that? But you're right. I mean, I that would have been controversial, but you spoke to how rare it is. And again, I don't know the particulars, but just for them to say he hit low. You were in the league for how many years?
12, and it just doesn't happen.
And you never saw it. You never saw it, correct?
Yeah, because it would be an all-out fight. It would be an all-out brawl.
Yeah,
like that's just what it would be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing, and you know, and this goes back to, and you said it, LaFleur likes a certain practice. It's not that he people. I think people are getting on him about it because he's not a tough coach. Because imagine if that was Jacobs that got that he went low on, right? What would be the reaction then from everyone else that loves the Green Bay Packers? Right. It would be a different tune, I would imagine, right?
No, they would be saying a certain percentage would be saying just what I'm saying. He's done. You can't have that guy on the team. There's a certain thing that you could do that's just too much. Again, it's going to be based on how much you paid or what you gave up for him, stuff like that. But that aside, he's now maybe we don't know. That. You'd have to ask him. We'd have to ask him if he would have said or done it to Jacob. And I don't know how you could say probably not, but I can't know for sure.
Exactly. You don't know for sure. Yeah, you don't know for sure, and then LaFleur, I think to me, he's just trying to prevent these things from happening later on in camp. So people could say, oh, he's trying to, make this team not as tough. No, that has nothing to do with it. That has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Right.
Being tough is a mentality, right? And I think we start to mix signals of showing toughness as big hits and then all these things those are that should be standard practice in the NFL. You know when it's time to go out there and do that. Being tough and being that type of football player, that stuff's a mentality, man. You either have that switch in your brain that you go out there and you do that, and that's how you perform, that's how you play with that edge, or you don't. You can't train that. That's not a thing. Hey guys, today's a toughness practice. We're going to be tough today. That's not a thing you go out there and do. And you can't go out there in camp and say, we're going to be a tough team this year. We're going to train to be tough.
Yeah. And maybe I'm unfair to LaFleur, and I just said he plays smart. That's much because the toughness, now it's harder because the GM doesn't hire the coach, but the nature of the team can also, and I would ask you this as a question, is that more reflective of the general manager and the kind of players they bring in and where they evaluate things rather than the coach?
Well, I think Goody, from where he started with the team, obviously the team that he took over, what was that, in 18?
Right.
And what he started to build, I mean, the team he took over in 18, we remember that team. And then obviously in 19 when LaFleur got brought in. And, I mean, you could say what you want. I remember that. I was on that team. That team in 19, I mean, it was a tough team. I mean, that was a group of guys that was a tough team. It was, I mean, offensively, it was a very talented team. Yeah, I mean, you could say what you want about, did you run the ball enough? Did you do that? I mean, regardless of the fact, you look at the guys that we had, it was a tough outfit. And you look at the guys they brought in, you bring in guys like Za'Darius, you bring in Amos, those are tough football players. You could say whatever you want. They're right. Tough dudes. They just
Bryan, you don't have to explain. When you say it, that is. So if anybody else wants to take another position, they're an idiot because you played with this team. So I mean
So now you're looking at what he's done in free agency lately, and he's bringing in guys like McKinney. I think everyone agrees that's a football player, right? That is a football player.
Great addition.
He brings in
Jacobs. Great addition.
Yes, he brings in a guy like Banks. We're going to see, right? Like that one's going to be the left guard. We're going to see. Track record of bringing
based on what he did in the previous two, I mean, everybody should be confident that he'll be what Goody thought he would be. I mean, I'll be surprised if not.
100%. So, like, you're seeing him, his free agent track record of bringing in guys that he wants to be a certain mentality, I think is pretty good. Like, I really do. I think he's done well of bringing in free agents that he wants to have that certain mindset. So you never know what you're going to get through the draft process, right? Like, I mean, you're drafting guys coming out of college programs now. Like, you can evaluate them and grind over their personality traits and go over this and that and this. And like, it's not until you get them in your locker room and you try to get them in your culture that you're going to find out. And then you get some guys that, rise to the top. Like, you get your Zach Toms and you get your Tucker Crafts, and those are the perfect, like, those is exactly what you want. Like, these are the type of guys that we want. We reward them financially. These are the tough individuals that we thought they were, and perfect, bang. And then sometimes you just guys end up not being the type of guys that you want, but you know what? They're there, and you have to try to get them to buy in as best you can, and until you have to move on, and that's the way things go in the NFL.
I mean, but I think we would agree. Hobbs, this is it. All right, he's not going to get a second incredibly unique situation again. I don't care how tough he plays, right?
No, he can't do that again. He
would. If he says anything, if he does anything, and we have you on, and you go, I never saw that. He's done.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you just can't do that. And, like, listen, go put the pads on in a joint practice. Go fly around, bud. Have fun. Go do it. Enjoy yourself. I don't, whatever. Well, do not care. Like,
and I don't know what he could do that you would say, I'd never see that again either. I hope we don't have to ask you that question. But
no, I hope not either. And, like, listen,
he may have brought him in. They needed a cornerback. He may have wanted a toughness. He may have wanted whatever. He didn't want that.
No, that's not what you're looking for. And, like, the thing is, I do like that Hobbs flies around like that. And listen, sometimes you need guys that have, they play with a certain type of edge.
All right,
like
who was that person? Wayne Simmons was the person I know when they won the championship before. Who would you say was that person on your Super Bowl team defensively? Maybe it was an offensive person too. I think we always usually think defense.
Oh, that was that kind of played with that. Like, Collins was like that. Nick played like that all the time. Like, Nick in practice didn't do that, but when Nick stepped on between those lines, man, Nick was fearless.
Well, that's all anybody cares about. You guys care about. I don't care about practice. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you were playing, this was the guy that would, I don't know, just where you'd say that. I mean, who was the toughest or the meanest, or would challenge it. They're just, Collins may have been it. I don't know. Because as great as Woodson was, I've never heard that said about him. Not in a negative way, but just because that's not what people bring up first when they talk about Woodson.
Yeah, Wood was just so smart. He knew where to be all the time. He was never out of position. He was physical, right? I mean, the guy caused so many fumbles and everything like that.
Right, but this is all about what you mentioned first about someone. Like, I wonder what they mentioned first about you. I'll have to ask somebody. What's the first thing about Bulaga? Here's what I would say. He never made a mistake. Like, of all the people just don't realize how intense he was about just having all the information and knowing and being able to know exactly what was going to happen and to address that. Like, his football smartness on the field is the first thing they would say about Bryan Bulaga. But I could be wrong because I'm not them. But I don't know who I'll have to ask.
Yeah, who should we ask, Blue?
No,
I have no idea.
Well, it's fair with him because he doesn't care enough to cheat. So, like, no, ask anybody. That's what he'd say, but he didn't want to be mean.
I mean, that's part of trying to do your job properly is to make sure that you're trying.
I know who I'm asking. You know who we're asking? We're asking Clay Matthews because Clay Matthews has the experience of going against him when Bulaga was a rookie. So he has.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get that on
He's got all that.
show.
Yeah.
When they have Bulaga on. I don't have enough time with 46 minutes.
Well, I will say this has been a fun glimpse into what the Homer Hour with Bryan Bulaga sounds like for those of us who don't catch it on a regular basis. This has been fun. A nice little teaser for what you guys do twice a week here throughout the week.
Happy to fill in for Jason. Take it from here.
Homer,
Always a treat.
Wait, Homer, before you go. Anything you want to say about the Milwaukee Brewers going for a sweep of the Cubs this afternoon?
The game to remember is the first game. They're down 3-0, and they outscore the Cubs 8-1 and just whoop them. I'll defer to Brian on this, where you're playing a good team. The Cubs are very good, and the ability when you just have a horrible start. Sometimes when you have a horrible start, you just can't win. It's too hard against that team to come back the way they did. It's like John Anderson said something like, "Hey, you get a group of hungry bees, they can take down a bear." And I thought, that's this Brewers team. I didn't think I said it perfectly, but like they have a confidence that is greater than maybe what it should be for the talent. But as a group, they're just never worried. Is that the right way to put it, Brian? I don't know. You know, to come back on the road, or not on the road, but against the team, you just think, well, maybe it's not our day. No, we just don't think that way. We're coming at them again, and let's see if this group of angry bees can whoop the bear.
Yeah, they have a confidence about them right now that's incredible. Like, and you know what's funny, Homer? I remember when this season first started, you and I were on air, and they were giving up runs for fun, and they were getting blown out. Remember? I remember you said like this could be the worst start of a team.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
And now here we are. And like this team,
right, which needs to be known, and I'm glad you brought it up because people need to realize how amazing that is. It doesn't happen. Like if they go on to achieve something, they'll go back and say, I guarantee you, the first team to ever do that, given what happened the first 4 games or something like that, even with 162. Yep. Yeah. Thanks for that. That's another. We'll add that to the list.
There it is.
See, this is the hard part. Bulaga can't respond because he was never a bunch of hungry bees against the bear.
Yeah.
They were the bear.
Well,
that's true. It's very true.
Maybe it was the Giants. The Giants were too good that year. That's not fair to them.
Yeah.
They would be offended by being a bunch of hungry bees. But yes, that sadly was when the bear went down. All right, we can't leave on that note. So we have to have the Brewers are it. So would it be nice if they swept? Yes, because and Brian would I can add to this, I'm sure. There are a lot of games, but when you give yourself a 3-game lead, then you have a little cushion. Cushions are nice because now you're not as likely to be in that situation. Well, I know it's early, but they have to win this one. There's nothing better than having the cushion, and that's what they would have if they can sweep. Because they got, 5 more in Chicago?
Yeah, 5 in Chicago starting August 18th. 5 games in 4 days. Those are the last remaining games against the Cubs after today.
You don't want to have to go in there in Chicago and say, well, we have to win 4. They're going to likely be in a position of things they would like to happen, but it isn't mandatory. So take it away, Brian. Is any of that good? Was any of that good? Was any of that true? I need approval.
That's perfect. You want to have his biggest cushion against the guys in your division or conference, whatever they call it now in baseball. I don't know what they call it. But anything, and I'll put it this way: anything to beat the Cubs, I am all for. So anything that is anti-Cub, I am all for. So beat them 10-0 today. Really, stomp out all their hopes and dreams. Anything against the Cubs, I'm all for.
That's we can leave on.
Yeah, the Bryan Bulaga Hour with Homer. All right, bye.
Bye, Homer. Thanks for joining. Homer, weekdays 5 to 6 on ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Beaver Dam. You can also stream it on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Bryan Bulaga joins Homer twice a week as part of the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin. Jason's wrapping up at assistant coach media availability in Green Bay until we'll stall one more segment until he comes back, and then the rest of the show will be him elaborating on what Rich Bisaccia and Jeff Hafley and Adam Stenovich all had to say. So we are going to play Wilde and Tausch trivia coming up next on a Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. 844-770-3776 is the phone number to get in for Wilde and Tausch trivia. 844-770-3776. The Milwaukee Brewers have won 15 of their last 18 games. Caller 15 at 844-770-3776. Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. Today's trivia category. We will play your chance to win a Vortex swag bag. And then Jason Wilde returns from assistant coach media availability. That is all coming up next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and I am so excited to tell you about what I've cooked up with the team at Pizza Hut. I've been telling you for a long time about how much I love Pizza Hut, not only now, but also going back to when I was a kid. Well, Pizza Hut's taking us back to those childhood memories with a special Throwback Thursday event in Platteville. From 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Thursday, August 7th, enjoy special throwback prices at Pizza Hut in Platteville. A medium one-topping pizza for just $6.50. 8 boneless wings, just 65 cents a piece. Breadsticks and cinnamon sticks, just $1.34. Fountain drinks, just 77 cents each. And a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza for just $11. I'll be hanging out with some special guests from noon to 2 after the Wisconsin football practice. So stop by, enjoy discounted throwback prices, and enter for a chance to win a signed jersey or pizza for a year. Throwback Thursday at Pizza Hut. Thursday, August 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. exclusively at Pizza Hut in Platteville. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going. Lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the executive director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Ever thought about hitting a golf ball in Camp Randall Stadium? Well, now is your chance. On August 1st and 2nd, you can enjoy a VIP experience while hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium down to custom greens on the field below. Start and end your round with great music, cold beers, food, and numerous golf challenges. Event is open to all ages, but hurry because tee times will go fast. Go to upperdeckgolf.com to book a tee time today. That's upperdeckgolf.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing. While Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability. Nice. Making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
'Cause I'm a hazard to myself. Don't let me get me. No, I'm my own worst enemy. It's bad when you know yourself. So irritating. No, don't wanna be my friend no more.
The Jesse and Bulaga hour coming to a close here pretty soon on Wilde and Tausch. Jason Wilde wrapping up with Jeff Hafley, Packers defensive coordinator. The final of the 3 assistant coaches meeting with the media this morning up in Green Bay. Jason will give a full report coming back here in just a couple of minutes after we play Wilde and Tausch Trivia, which is presented by Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
And Brian, on a Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, which Tausch is always thrilled about. I know you enjoy it as well. Jason is jealous, I'm sure, when he finds out that we have a first-time contestant. Zach in Sheboygan, welcome to Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Vortex Golf. Sorry we don't have Jason or Tausch to play for your first time, but I hope you're going to have fun nonetheless.
Oh, absolutely. You guys are just as good, if not better.
No. Thank you.
I know that's not true about me. Bulaga, you could make an argument. I know that no one believes that about me stepping in here for the time being as the substitute teacher while Jason's away. But regardless, Zach, I better that than being mean to me like they are in the YouTube comments. I'll say that. Let's play Wisconsin Geography Wednesday on Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Vortex Golf. I have question number 1 for you, Zach. People from around the world flew into Wisconsin for the annual EAA Air Venture Festival last week in Oshkosh. If fans flying in from around the world couldn't land at Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh, which of these cities' airports would be the next best option located closest to Oshkosh? Your options are Fond du Lac, Baraboo, or Des Plaines.
I'm going to go Fond du Lac. Final answer.
And he's on the board. Question number 1, it is correct. Des Plaines, I thought that was pretty good, if I do say so myself.
It was good. It was good.
Appreciated the chuckle.
Yeah.
Bryan Bulaga, you have question number 2 for Zach in Sheboygan.
All right. Latitudinally, which of these Wisconsin counties is located farthest south? Is it Clark County, Jackson County, or Iowa County?
Oh, just because they're blue, I'm going to go Iowa County.
Wow.
I wasn't going to have Bryan Bulaga ask a question with Iowa in it and not be the correct answer. Well, way to see through it. Way to see through it, Zach. Did you catch the theme, though? We had Clark County, like Caitlin Clark, Jackson County, like my guy Josh Jackson from Iowa, and then Iowa County itself. How about that? Yeah, well, beyond the game. That was pretty clever.
You're dialed.
Pat myself on the back. Chance for a perfect day in your debut. Zach, here is question number 3. Danny Jansen, a backup catcher the Brewers acquired in a trade earlier this week, was born and raised in Wisconsin and played high school baseball at which of these schools in the Fox Valley? Did he play his high school baseball at Kimberly, Appleton West, or Neenah?
Appleton West. Final answer. Yes.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yep. Wow.
And in this case, Zach, you were both. Lucky on the last one, good on the others.
I'll take it.
3.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys.
There you go, Zach. 3 for 3 of all 4 entries and a chance to win the Vortex swag bag, which we will draw for. Either Jim, Matt, and Molly will do so on Friday, or we will take care of that drawing when we're all back together next Monday. Regardless, congratulations, Zach. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for a great performance as a first-time contestant in Wilde and Tausch Trivia.
Thank you, guys. Love you guys. Love you guys a lot. Talk soon.
Love you guys.
And he got the love you guys at the end. You know that's a real one when he's able to get that in.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to our friend Farvey. Thanks to Zach in Sheboygan. Thanks to Vortex Golf. That's Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Jason Wilde wrapping up at the assistant coach media availability. I think they're all done, so we will hear from Jason, his takeaways from Adam Stenovich, Jeff Hafley, Rich Bisaccia meeting with the media, and on Bryan Bulaga's reactions to that commentary. Did all of his questions get answered? All the burning questions that Bryan Bulaga wanted answers to today. We'll find out coming up next. Jason returns to the show. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Mark Toscher here, inviting you to Throwback Thursday at the Pizza Hut in Platteville on Thursday, August 7th. From 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Enjoy special throwback prices on pizza, wings, fountain drinks, and more. I'll be at Pizza Hut in Platteville from noon to 2 after Wisconsin's practice, and I've invited some special guests to hang out as well. And when you stop by, enter to win a signed jersey or pizza for a year. Throwback Thursday at Pizza Hut, Thursday, August 7th, exclusively at Pizza Hut in Platteville.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Sleep better with Tempur-Pedic at Steinhoffels. Queen hybrids from $52 per month plus $300 in Steinhoffels cash. Shop now in-store or online. A standout message. Wisconsin football getting a blast from the past with J.J. Watt visiting practice. The Badger legend speaking to the locker room during his visit, hyping up this year's squad. Linebacker Daryl Peterson taking the message to heart, motivated to uphold Wisconsin's legacy.
When you think of this place, you think physicality, running the ball, stopping the run. Like that's one of the big things he told us. I think that was one of the things that stuck to me. Like he was like, we were playing guys like we might have lost, but they knew they played us afterwards. That was one of the things that stuck with me, and that's my challenge to our defense now. Let's get this guy leaving out here in body bag.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Siding Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in Pella window installation. In fact, we are Wisconsin's only Pella Platinum Premier Certified Contractor, and we've won Pella's prestigious National Contractor of the Year award 5 times. It's easy to get started. The process starts with homeowners meeting us at Siding Unlimited's amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities. Plus, membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
First of all, I love bringing this to the public.
The Rich Eisen Show.
NFC North, top to bottom. You could say this is the best this division has ever been.
Coming September 2nd on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
I'm told there's still another segment left in the 10 o'clock hour. I will have to go back on YouTube or the ESPN Wisconsin app or Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, etc. to find out what the hell was going on out there while I was down at the press conference availability with the three coordinators. Some interesting stuff that came out of it, actually from all three of them. I want to start with one quickie, and then we'll more during the 11 o'clock hour. But since we've got one of the best offensive linemen in Packers history here, where else am I going to start but the offensive line? Now, I say that about Bryan Bulaga, but Bryan Bulaga will tell you that Bryan Bulaga, the guard, sucked. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very bad.
Now, if you let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Tausch is invincible. He's like Bruce Willis in that Unbreakable movie, and he plays like 17 years in the league. And Cliffy, the big Lamborghini, continues to manage, because he didn't, right, in 2011, but he continues to manage to play on Sundays with limited practice. And you're in Jordan Morgan's spot. Neither of the tackles are ceding an opportunity to you. If you'd have worked at it, could you have been a good guard, you think?
I might have been okay at it. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, if I would have got to work at it, I might have been an average guard. Because I got to play next to two really, really good ones, and I know what really, really good looks like. And I just didn't have that skill set, right? Like what they did so good and what made them really good. Like, I didn't have that same like skill set, and like I could have worked on it, but like the way I moved and what I did well didn't translate to like that position, right? Like, it just wasn't the same. It didn't work the same as what I did really well on the outside. And like, as much as you try to fit that, you know, what's the old saying, like the round, you know,
square peg in the
round hole. It just, it wouldn't have worked. And I mean, would I have been serviceable after working at it for like a couple of years? Yeah, I probably would have been serviceable. But I probably would not have been as successful as I would have been, you know, playing tackle. And like, that's just the way I would have seen it. I would have done everything I could to make it work, but it wouldn't have probably turned out the way it did for me, you know, playing tackle.
So I want to get into this on the other side with what Bisaccia said and with what Jeff Hafley talked about, because there was some really interesting stuff to that. But look, basically with Aaron Banks dealing with his back issues, so he's been kind of in and out of, you know, it meant that Jordan Morgan was playing guard more than he was playing tackle. Well, Steno did say that now, the competition is on, basically. And he is going to compete now, not just at left tackle, but at right guard. He was also asked about, Sean Ryan, and if he's kind of, I don't want to say sealed up that job because that's not how the question was asked, but he made it very clear that Sean Ryan is still competing, which is on brand because they have been trying to give away Sean Ryan's job since he got here. So Sean Ryan and Sheed versus Jordan Morgan. What I want from you before we go to the 11 o'clock hour, if you have to predict where Jordan Morgan will be on September 7th, will he be the left tackle, the right guard, or the sixth man? I'm going sixth man.
Yeah. I'm going to say... I think it'll be the sixth man. Like, unless it's some unforeseeable, like he goes the left tackle now, but I think Sheed again is probably having the camp that we expected him to have, most likely, right? Like I think that's probably what's happening. Jordan Morgan, again, I don't know how he's performing in camp because he's been moved around a bunch, right? Like I think that's been the consensus that he's been position hopping, which is unfortunate for him, right? Like he's supposed to be going into a competition battle at left tackle, and he's been playing both guard spots and left tackle, but now he's going to get to focus a little bit more there, and I guess at right guard too, which doesn't help his cause. But I don't see Sheed getting ousted there, and I don't think Sean Ryan's going to give much ground, man. I don't see it happening. I think those two guys, as we've said over the last few years, have been battle tested in this position battle thing, right? Like they've been going through this now for the last few years, and this is they're comfortable in the uncomfortable situation of this camp battle. Like they've been doing this, and they understand mentally what they need to do, right? Like they get it. They understand every little thing is being looked at, every little thing is being graded, and they know the expectation of it. And when you're the person trying to take away that job, you have to be like extraordinary. Like you have to like prove that I can be like this person, but even better, and I can be more reliable. And you have to prove a lot more. And I'm not sure the reps are there, and like the time is there to show that, right? Like it's hard to do in camp the way camp is set up these days to do that now that you're trying to do it in two different spots. Like it's just like it's not there. The time isn't there, the reps aren't there, and it's tough to do.
Well, we will see how it plays out, but yes, I thought it was really interesting that Steno flat out said that he's competing at both spots now, because during the offseason, it was very clearly it's him versus Sheed, and that has now shifted already, and we're a week into camp. All right, we need to get to the 11 o'clock hour. I want to get to something that Bisaccia said, and then I want to get into a couple of things that Jeff Hafley said. I thought it was really, really interesting what we talked about in terms of year two and about their goal of leading the NFL in takeaways and needing to get more forced fumbles. We'll get into all that during the 11 o'clock hour, and that will start in 2 minutes. So stick around with Bryan Bulaga as our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is Wisconsin Volleyball National Champion Devin Robinson. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by the ESPN Wisconsin app, home to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Plus, find featured content, enter contests, and more. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today.
First pitch. Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Left center. Bye-bye baseball. The legend of Andrew Vaughn keeps growing. A grand slam. You have got to be kidding me.
Lane Grindle last night on the Brewers radio network, as heard right here on 100.5 ESPN. Andrew Vaughn, 6 runs driven in. That's a career high, including that grand slam, propelling the Brewers to a 9-3 victory over the rival Chicago Cubs. Andrew Vaughn was called up to the Brewers on July 7th from AAA. Since that day, he has 21 runs driven in. Only Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies has more in all of baseball. The Brewers go for the sweep of the Cubs this afternoon, 1:10 first pitch. Freddie Peralta on the mound on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on. I'm not giving up, no, not
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch with Bryan Bulaga, our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. As the Tausch summer sabbatical rolls on, he'll be back next week. We've got a deep bench. We're really lucky. But Bryan, so that was the highlight for me for Steno. We also talked about Matthew Golden and how he's come along. We're probably not going to have time to get into it. I don't know how much you guys talked about it while I was gone, but there was a great moment yesterday, a 54-yard touchdown from Love to Golden. And what I thought was great about it was not the play itself, but the fact that they had run the exact same play the day before as a double move, and Golden didn't sell the first part of the double move, and so it was covered, and it didn't work. And to me, anyway, the most important thing with young players is when they do something wrong, which they're inevitably going to do, even if you're a first-round pick, that they do something differently to fix it on day 2, and we saw the results. And so I did want to touch on that before we got to the 2 coordinators that we haven't talked about yet, because to me, that's a great sign. Like, yeah, he's fast, and yeah, he's smooth, and he's got strong hands. Those are all great things. But tell me if I'm wrong, Bryan, but when you have young guys, and he turns 22 on Friday. He is 21 years old. And for him to have that kind of wherewithal to say, hey, I screwed this up yesterday, I need to do it better, and for him to do it the way he did it yesterday now, I think that's a lot. I think that says a lot about him as a player. Agree or disagree?
Nope, I agree. I mean, that's how that's how you become a professional, like a true professional in this league, is like learning from mistakes from tape from day to day to day. And then that's what training camp is for. And that's how young guys are able to come along in the league faster than others. It's how they learn from their mistakes the day prior and correct them the next day, right? If you continue to make mistakes or the same mistakes day after day after day, the development process is just hampered. So to see him able to, correct things so quickly and learn and adapt and then, make the play on top of it the following day is very encouraging. And just with that, then the quarterback then begins to trust, right? Then that builds that trust of throwing him that ball, counting on him to make that double move or to be in the right position. And that's what you want to see early on in camp. So to me, that speaks volumes about him as a young guy in this league, trying to do the right things and go about his progression and learning the right way. Like to me, that's a great sign. Like you love to see those things from young guys, because playing receiver in this league is not easy. There's a lot of things you need to learn. There's a lot of things you need to adapt to, and coverages and adjustments and all these different things within this LaFleur offense. There's a lot of tough things that he needs to learn. So it's good to see that he's learning from mistakes made from day to day, and he's able to correct them so quickly. That's great.
All right, there's two things I want to get to with Bisaccia, but one of them overlaps with a conversation we had with Jeff Hafley as well. So we'll get to that coming up. The thing about Bisaccia that I know you were on field goal protection unit, but much like playing guard, no one ever really wanted you to be the long snapper either. Did you have that in your background in high school or Pee-wees or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Never was a skill. I should have learned it, but I didn't.
Yeah, you'd still be playing, probably.
Yeah,
if you were good at it.
I should have learned it. Should have learned it.
But then you wouldn't be here, and we're better off with you here. But Bisaccia talked about, because Brandon McManus has been automatic. In fact, Bill Huber from Sports Illustrated called him Automatic McManus. I flubbed it. And I said they should make a T-shirt, which I guess you could be putting the whammy on him then, and you don't want to do that. But what Bisaccia said is that they've got the battery of the snapper, Matt Orzak, obviously punter Daniel Whelan is the holder, and now McManus. And he came in October, and now they've had half a season, a full off season, and now they're getting a training camp. My question for you is, as a player, and you and Mason are good friends. You guys were teammates for a long time. How different is it when you have a kicker you can count on versus a kicker you don't? Because right now, their confidence has to be sky high in their kicking game.
Yeah, I mean, if for offensively, it feels good. I mean, it makes you feel a lot more comfortable knowing. You always want to be perfect on offense and cash in every series, right? Like, you want to get the 7. You want to hit pay dirt every single drive. Obviously, that's the goal, and all that. I get that. That's stating the obvious. But it doesn't happen that way. And the objective is always to put points up no matter what every single drive. And to have a guy that you can count on from not just, short range, obviously that should be the obvious, but for a guy that you can count on from that 50-yard range that can, bang in field goals and you feel really good about all the time. I mean, it makes offensive guys feel good that, hey, we could put in a lot of work. Say we get pinned back deep and we put together a drive and we're able to get him into a position within, 45 to 55 yards. He's going to cash in for us. And all that work that we put in to get us into that scoring zone for him gets paid off, right? And that's a good feeling. And then you even add on to that when you're in a 2-minute or end-of-game situation and we only need to get to this point. We don't need to grind over getting inside the 30-yard line to feel okay about kicking a field goal. We only need to get to this point, and anything more we get for him is a bonus, right? Like, it's just even more of a confidence builder. That makes you feel good as an offense. It opens up a lot of things for you offensively too, knowing that your kicker can cover up for you. Like, you can be a little more, I don't want to say conservative, but you don't have to take as many risks in certain situations that you normally would have to if you're like, hey man, we don't trust our kicker from 52 yards. We have to get within 45 for this guy for us to feel comfortable. We got to take a shot. And we all know what happens in certain situations at end of games when you got to take a shot. Sacks happen, fumble or picks happen, bad things happen. So like when you have confidence in your kicker, it makes the offense feel like, hey, like all we got to do is get in this position and this guy's going to make it happen for us. And that's a good feeling to have, not just offensively, but defensively. They feel like if we get a stop, all we need to do is get our offense back out there and McManus is going to bang this thing in from no matter what. Like it's a good feeling for the team overall, having confidence in that guy at the end of the game.
All right, I want to get into Bo Melton next, and then I want to get into what Jeff Hafley talked about year 2 in their defense and evolving, and also their commitment to forcing more fumbles. It sounds like they have their own version of the peanut punch of old Peanut Tillman that they are working on to improve in that area. So we'll get to that coming up. Want to remind you, and look, we're so thrilled to have great cousin subs of the day to fill in for Tausch, and we've got great partners as well. And one of them, of course, is Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. So go to the website, gruber-law.com, find out more about the firm, David's history, everything they do in our communities. Again, I had to find out what we needed to do when Paula and Maddie were rear-ended in Madison a couple weeks ago. And I talked to one of their great lawyers there, Nick, and he helped us through the process to know, okay, here's what you got to do next. And is this something that we want to pursue legally? Yes, no, maybe? All those questions will be answered with that call. 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. More with Bryan Bulaga next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, training camp practices and preseason games are great opportunities for the guys up in Green Bay to make sure they're fully ready for their regular season performances. Well, if they didn't work on things before the games count, there could be some big mistakes that happen in the regular season. Well, the same goes for car maintenance. Get your vehicle checked before you go on a long road trip or an issue comes up during an important, busy time in your life. There is no better vehicle service team than the team I trust over at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil, make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you can focus on the fun of getting from place to place for whatever your next adventure holds. Schedule a service appointment, view vehicle inventory, and learn more about all they have to offer at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Fix any issues before it counts. When it comes to your vehicle, take my word for it and trust the fantastic team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust.
This is our crew.
And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Every pitch, every strike, every hit.
This is well struck. This is gone. Andrew Vaughn.
Hear the call of every Milwaukee Brewers game this season. This week, the Brewers host the Cubs for a battle of the best teams in the National League. It's the I-94 rivalry, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right here on 100.5 ESPN.
Baseball is back. Bryan Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, zero bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Your first time driving a stick shift. The car, sporty. Your teacher, nervous. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Online Activation Zone, so you can easily shift your direct deposits from your old clunker of a bank to Associated Bank in just a few clicks. You've got this with Activation Zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
This update's sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Kids and seniors, Quartz wants to see you at American Family Field. On select weekday home games, kids 14 and under and seniors 60 plus can save 50% on tickets. Following the game, seniors may stroll along the outfield warning track. Visit brewers.com/kids and seniors to learn more. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Siding Unlimited is Wisconsin's leader in Pella window installation. In fact, we are Wisconsin's only Pella Platinum Premier Certified contractor, and we've won Pella's prestigious National Contractor of the Year award 5 times. It's easy to get started. The process starts with homeowners meeting us at Siding Unlimited's amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
So, this is not going to be breaking news, but I've got a lot of shortcomings. I'm aware of them. Self-awareness is not one of them. I have that. But I know that if there are guys that I like and that I think are good humans, which, again, never know. I mean, Bulaga, Lord knows all the stuff you had going on behind the scenes. I thought I knew you, but I really didn't. But in all seriousness, I try not to allow that to cloud my judgment. But I have to work at it, frankly, because I'm just, I'm not a robot. And so I really like Bo Melton. Like, I really think he's the kind of guy you need on your football team. I think there's value in that type of person who will do whatever it is that the team needs, right? I also live in the real world where, and I said this to Bisaccia when we were talking to him today, usually when a guy moves positions, it's an intermediate move between being on the team and no longer being on the team, right? It's like it's the way station on your way to unemployment. And with Bo, I'm not sure that's going to be the case. Now, I have plenty of examples through my time covering this team. Lots of guys have moved to corner. There was Alex Magoo, the quarterback, who they moved to wide receiver. We knew what that was, right? But in Bo's case, and this is where my, biases come in. I do not want to be the guy that's thinking, well, I like Bo, so of course they're going to keep him. So I phrased my question to Bisaccia along those lines of, look, usually when a guy moves positions, he's on his way off the roster. And here's the last line of Bisaccia's answer. And again, Bulaga, be my guide to make sure that I'm not hearing what I want to hear, okay? Mm-hmm. He said, we're so excited that we have him regardless of what side of the ball he's on. He's going to be an impact for our team. And then he talked about how, he plays the spots on the kickoff where they expect him to make a tackle. And he plays fly or on punt coverage where he's expected to make a tackle. I believe that their thought here is we got better wide receivers than Bo Melton. We love Bo, great dude. Now that we got Golden and these other guys, we got guys that belong on this team. But we don't have a lot of good corners. We got our top 3, and then who knows what. We move him to corner. It's a place where we can put him on the depth chart as opposed to just having him as, hey, this guy's going to be our special teams guy. So Am I wrong to think that way, Bryan?
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think they want him, right? Like, I think that's the over. Like, I look at the whole situation, and they want Bo Melton on the team, right? And you looked at it correctly from the wide receiver room. It's crowded, right? Like, and I don't think that is a like, that's not a representation of Bo Melton, like of the type of receiver he is or he was, because now he's a corner. The receiver room is just crowded, right? And whether you look at it because Watson's on PUP, they drafted 2 guys early. That's obviously the case. They got guys with 2 years left on a deal. They got 2 guys, obviously, with Watson on PUP, but Dobbs is on 1 year left of a deal. Like, it's just a room that's crowded, and you can't keep, 8 guys or whatever it may be, right? Like, you just can't do it in that room. It's impossible. It can't happen based on numbers and how many guys you can keep. And then you look at the flip side, going to defense, and you look at the corners and the numbers they have there, and they could say that we saw potential there in college that he could do that or whatever it may be. That's fine that you make that switch, but they look at him as an impact special teams player, right? Like, that is his role on the team, and that's great. Whether you want to say he's a defensive player, an offensive player, it is what it is, right? Like, because we all know, and you know this, we get into the season and say they go, unfortunately, through a little blip where receivers are out for a couple of weeks with maybe soft tissue things. He's going to play receiver. Like, he will go play receiver, and that's just the way it goes, right? Like, because he knows the position. And he may have to play defense. Obviously, that's where he's going to be, and he's going to play corner if needed, and however the depth chart stacks up. I don't know how it's going to stack up. That secondary still confuses me and how that all shakes out.
Agreed.
But he is an impact special team player. Like, that is his role on this team, and you need guys like that that take that job seriously, and they know that's their role, and they love their role, and they're going to go sell out for their job, and that's what Bo Melton is, right? Like, that's his role on this team. Whether he wears a receiver number, a corner number, or he has a green jersey on during practice or a white jersey, it's just where he is contributing during practice, and if he gets during a game, if there's, what situation he's in, right? If he's got to go play corner, he's got to go play some corner. Regardless, doesn't matter. His role is going to be on special teams, and that's where he's going to be a key contributor, and I don't see him not being on the team. I think he will be on the team, and like, those comments from Bisaccia speak volumes. Like, to me, when a coordinator says that, to see him then turn around on the last week of cuts and not be there, I would be absolutely shocked. It would surprise me, because it would be like, well, why did you make that move for him? Because then he could have made the best case for himself at a position he's been at for the last few years and tried to earn like a 5th or 6th receiver role, and then still be your impact special teams guy. But no, you moved him to a spot that he hasn't done, but still be you did him an injustice essentially by moving him and putting him behind the 8 ball.
Exactly. Yep.
But it sounds like he's going to be on this roster. It sounds like he's going to be on this roster, and he should be, because like, you need special teams guys. Like, you need those guys. Like, there's a role for guys like that on a team, and he's like a perfect fit for that. And he's that guy that can go do receiver in a pinch if you need him to. That's very valuable to have.
Yeah, Hafley said it at the end of his answer about Bo's transition. He said, everything's not going to look perfect, but I was fired up. I love the guy. You win with guys like Bo. All right? So when your defensive coordinator is saying that and your special teams coordinator is saying that. But again, let's be honest. Goody said that Devontae Adams was a Hall of Fame player and they were going to keep him, and they didn't. He said that Aaron Jones was absolutely going to be on the team. So it's still, you can't go on everything that is said. You just don't know. Yep. So speaking of things that were said, I want to get to what Jeff Hafley had to say, because I'm intrigued by what this defense is going to be. We're going to squeeze in, Jesse, a quick Whoa Nelly at the end of the show, which means it'll be about a minute or maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not getting my hopes up.
But I'm going to try. But I need to tell you about Behind the Bucks as well. And that is, we've had this podcast going on now for a while, and there's some really great content in the Behind the Bucks podcast presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks brings you exclusive access and untold stories about the greatest stars and moments in Bucks history. Go behind the scenes of Giannis's Emmy-nominated documentary. Hear the true origins of Bucks and Six and more. Behind the Bucks is on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. More with Bryan Bulaga, our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Hey, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network, and I've got a question for you. Is your home ready to shine this season? Whether it's roofing, siding, or windows, Ridgetop Exteriors is the name you can trust. For over 20 years, Ridgetop Exteriors has been Wisconsin's favorite for roofing, and they bring that same expertise to siding and windows. Imagine vibrant, low-maintenance siding and energy-efficient windows that brighten your home while cutting energy costs. Ridgetop Exteriors holds all expert-level installation credentials with the leading manufacturers, including Pella, James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding, and LP Smart Side Engineered Wood Siding. With thousands of 5-star reviews and a commitment to excellence, they're the clear choice for home improvement needs. Plus, consultations and estimates are always free, so there's no reason to wait. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com to schedule your free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, putting customers first every time.
Ridgetop Exteriors is the place for you.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life.
My name is Jake Huser. I was Bucky from 2021 to 2024, and my favorite memory of being Bucky was winning a national championship with both volleyball in 2021 and women's hockey in 2023.
Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our 3rd annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
we're on the Badgers.
It reminds me of our 2016 year.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I think being the underdog is a great thing for Wisconsin football. I think this could be that year.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I was reminded by Jesse that Jesse had about 45 minutes of airtime while I was down at the press conferences, so forget Whoa Nelly. We're Whoa Nellying Whoa Nelly. So, Brian, there's two things from Hafley I want to get to before we run out of time. One is their need to force more fumbles. He was very adamant about that, okay? And again, you can talk about it all you want, but the bottom line is, do you do it, right? So coaches love to say you get what you emphasize. Last year, the Packers finished 4th in the league in takeaways. Pittsburgh and Minnesota tied for the league lead with 33. Buffalo had 32, and the Packers had 31. They're shooting for 43. And Hafley's point is, because that would be the league record, apparently. I have not looked that up myself yet. But Hafley's point is we didn't force enough fumbles. They had 14 fumbles they forced. They had 17 interceptions. You played on some teams, I think back to especially the ones the year before you got here in 2009, and then obviously your rookie year in 10. When you've got Nick Collins, you've got Charles Woodson back there, you've got Clay Matthews screaming around the edge. You got people, strip sack fumbles all the time. Cullen Jenkins was great at that. Just, this is self-evident, but, no wonder everyone wants more takeaways. Hey, we need to take the ball away more. Show me a defensive coordinator who doesn't say that. And you're showing me a guy who's probably getting fired, because that's what you need to talk about. The game's all about the ball. They have instituted this thing with Wendell Davis, who has been named the Ball King, and he has a presentation every day about where they go through film and show mistakes and guys that passed up opportunities to force fumbles, guys that got fumbles. So they're making it an emphasis. My question for you, going back to that, you get what you emphasize. Does that, from your playing career, more often than not, when you emphasize something to this degree, do you get what you're looking for?
Yeah, there's guys are thinking about it more, right? Like they're more aware of it as they're, approaching to make a tackle, or they're gang tackling and one guy's securing and one guy's punching, like they're more aware of what they're doing, or a guy's going to make a sack and they're, going for a strip sack and things like that. Like, yes, they are more in tune to, punching the ball out or forcing turnovers. But a part of that too is like the other team is trying to keep it, right? Like there is a part of this whole thing that, like, yes, you want to force turnovers, you want to punch the ball out, you want to but there's a little bit of luck involved with it as well, right? Like, I mean, it's easier said than done, right? Like, I mean, the interceptions and plays like that, like, there's a lot of those things where you see a lot more of those things happening because guys are in good position and they jump routes and they do those things really well, right? Like it's not really so much luck involved in that. Where the fumble thing, there's a little more luck involved in that, right? Like you're counting on, the ball carrier to be carrying it a touch loose, or the quarterback to be just in the right position where the DN comes screaming around the edge and he tips that ball out, and things like that. So you can put a lot of emphasis on it, and guys can be very aware of it, and it could lead to a few more of those, right? Like a few more fumbles and balls on the ground, and it could help boost that statistic a little bit. Like, to say that it's going to pay off in a way that is dramatic, that it puts you over the NFL record of takeaways is, I mean, you got to set goals. I love goals. Lofty goals are great, which I can appreciate. But the fumble one is, I mean, it's a lucky thing at times, right? Like, because obviously on the flip side of that, I'm sure offensively they are talking about ball security, would be my guess.
Oh, they are.
And yeah, so like, you got to look at it from both sides of the coin, right? Like, one's talking about security, one's talking about punching it out, and 31 other teams are talking about the exact same thing. So like, I love the emphasis on it, because it's all about the ball. It's taking it away and it's keeping it. But punching out the football and stripping it, I mean, there's a little bit of luck involved in that. And that's just the nature of this thing, right? Like, and if you're able to force 5 more, 6 more, and you're able to actually get on top of those and recover them, that's a big deal throughout a season, right? Like, that's actually, like, you look how that propels you in the standings of turnovers and things like that. That's a big shift in where you end up ranking at the end of the day. So, like, to say we need 25 more is, like, outrageous. Like that, I mean, I'll call it what it is. But say you get 6 more, like, that's a big number. And I hope they get it, because, like, if you put that much emphasis on something, you want to see the results pay off. But the one thing you don't want to see, right, is like guys going for tackles, and the first thing they go for is trying to punch out a rock, and they're not actually securing a tackle. And a receiver is able to slip away from something, and he ends up getting an extra 15 yards because someone's trying to punch a ball out and not secure a tackle first. So, like, there's an up and down to that, give and take. But Hafley seems like he knows what he's talking about when it comes to teaching the fundamentals of this thing on that side of the ball. They're a pretty secure tackling team, at least from what I saw last year. So I hope it pays off.
All right, the other thing that Hafley talked about that I just wanted to get to quickly is how strange last year was and how it affects this year. And what I mean by that is he came with, he got the job. He had this vision for what the defense was going to look like, right? And then given the personnel that he had, given the shortcomings that his 4-man pass rush had, quite frankly, given the fact that he had Jair early but then didn't have him for most of the rest of the season, the fact that Edger and Cooper kind of came out of nowhere for them, right? They evolved throughout the season, and now it's almost, he said, it's almost like there's a new coordinator for year 2, even though there isn't. They've got the foundation. But isn't this, and Chris was just saying in the ESPN Madison YouTube comments, if they lead the league in takeaways, you can say goodbye to Jeff Hafley because he's going to get a head coaching job somewhere. Yeah. And so if that's true, but isn't this, I just think this is what good coaches are, right? They're the guys that figure out a way to be good, and it doesn't necessarily come the way they planned it, right? Like, hey, here's what we do. This is what we're doing. Sure, if that works, great. But I got news for you. Everybody else is getting paid around the league too, and they're going to figure out what you're doing, and then you got to figure out what you're going to do to beat them. Isn't that, in your mind as a former player, is that the mark of a really good coordinator, is that that's what they're capable of?
Yep, it's how they evolve and how they're able to adjust, and not just adjust in a game, right? Like, that's obviously how you see how a team is able to counter what another team is doing, but it's when you're in a rhythm of a season, how you're able to change things up in the middle of a season, right? Because when a team gets in a good rhythm and they're doing something really well in a season, teams, like you said, start to game plan, and they start to figure out and tendencies of what your defense is doing, and they start to scheme that. And these offensive coaches are smart, right? Like, they're able to dissect things, and these quarterbacks are smart. They're able to see tendencies, and they're able to change plays and make adjustments really well. And it's how these coordinators are able to mid-season make adjustments and disguise things and change tendencies and break tendencies that kind of separates, the great coordinators from the average ones, right? And I think Hafley, he has that, right? And you saw it last year. Pass rush wasn't what we thought or what he thought it was. You can't just go on like this. We just can't continue to allow this to happen. We have to figure out a plan, and he did. And you look at how they finished last year, it's pretty good. It was pretty good how they finished out last year.
And now we just and if they're able to do the stuff that they weren't able to do last year now, who knows how good they could be. All right, we need to wrap things up. We're running out of time. Bryan Bulaga is our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Badgers.
All of these folks that put these projections into the world, I don't think they have them winning 6 games.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
Let this team prove that these projections are bunk.
This is 100.5 ESPN.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. Wisconsin football getting a blast from the past with J.J. Watt visiting practice. The Badger legend speaking to the locker room during his visit, hyping up this year's squad. Linebacker Daryl Peterson taking the message to heart, motivated to uphold Wisconsin's legacy.
When you think of this place, you think physicality, running the ball, stopping the run. Like that's one of the big things he told us. I think that was one of the things that stuck to me. Like, he was like, we were playing guys, like we might have lost, but they knew they played us afterwards. That was one of the things that stuck with me, and that's my challenge to our defense now. Let's get these guys leaving out here in body bag.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
Bruner Realty and ESPN Madison have teamed up again for the 5th annual Putts for Pups golf outing benefiting the Dane County Humane Society. Join us for a day of golf at Blackhawk Country Club on September 19th. Since it started in 2021, Putts for Pups has raised over $120,000 for the Dane County Humane Society. Donate or find out how you can get involved at putsforpups.com. Putts for Pups is proudly sponsored by Badgerland Exteriors, Alts Operations, Zimbrick Automotive, and Vortex Optics.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago Cubs.
Breaking ball, hit high, hit deep, left center! Bye-bye baseball!
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
You have got to be kidding me!
He's got it. All right, we ran late, so we got to go. Always love it. You know, that's consistent with Bryan Bulaga. We love having him on so much as a guest every week that when he's a cousin sub of the day, of course we're going to go long. Jesse, tell people what you've got planned for tonight before we go, though.
I'm going to the Brewers game as a media member again today.
Oh, you're gonna go into Craig Counsell's press conference and yell at him and tell him how much you don't like him?
No, my hope is to avoid that press conference in that general vicinity. I do have a couple of questions planned for Pat Murphy should the opportunity arise. I don't want to chicken out like I did last time, so I'll hope to report back tomorrow.
All right. We look forward to it. We thank Bryan Bulaga for being our cousin sub of the day, and we thank you for coming along for the ride with us. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Stoughton Health, providing experienced physicians, nurses, therapists, technicians, and staff for personalized, forward-thinking expert health care. Stoughton Health, trusted care close to home.
First pitch. Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Left center. Bye-bye baseball. The legend of Andrew Vaughn keeps growing. A grand slam. You have got to be kidding me.
Lane Grindle with the call last night on the Brewers Radio Network, as heard right here on 100.5 ESPN. Andrew Vaughn, 6 RBIs, a career high, including that grand slam, propelling the Brewers to a 9-3 victory over the Cubs. They have already clinched the series victory. They will be in first place when the series ends this afternoon, but by how many games? Brewers going for the sweep. 1:10 first pitch. Pregame coverage starts about 30 minutes from right now here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Freddie Peralta on the mound for Milwaukee. Brewers a season-high 21 games, over 500, and 2 games up on the Cubs in the standings.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.